The amateur game has always been a big part in our lives. It's always the topic of our conversations and it's constantly on our minds on a daily basis.
Although it's not at a professional level, the amateur game is a working class sport at a working class level. Players put their bodies on the line, lives on hold, and have worked their socks off to be the best they can be from the top to the bottom of the amateur game.
We live and breathe football, and the amateur game has given us our best years in football. Both of us have come to the end of our playing days and want to sit and speak to the legends of the game, legends in their world, to sit and listen about the careers and stories of the game we love.
Welcome to our podcast.
3 points, please.
Okay, today we have a man in to tell his story, to tell his father's story and Liffey Wanderers' story. Gary Young, welcome.
Welcome, Gary.
How are we going, lads?
Come here, so it's talked before, you've given up the 25s and you're on the committee side of things now.
Yeah, I went straight onto the committee now once I finished playing. Still stayed on the committee while playing with the 35s, but loving it at the moment, back down watching the lads, but it's very enjoyable again. I'm watching them.
You were saying that they're starting to turn things around a small bit.
Bad start this season. I think we lost. I think it was 4 out of the first 5, but decent cup run now. A huge game in 3 weeks down in Cork, semi-final of Intermedia.
That's massive, isn't it? Massive.
Yeah. Huge.
Massive.
It really is. Like this is the whole team's the first year together. Every one of them's a new player, bar probably 2 or 3. So after the bad start we had, you probably wouldn't have seen this. But even every game we nearly played, we were probably the underdog in them, really. So we'd be the same again going down to Cork, but have to embrace it.
I'd like being the underdog and going to games there. But very few times I've been the favourite the way I played the teams I played with. But
it'd be the exact same. I reckon probably about 6-1 down there.
Who did you play again, Gary?
Ringmatton.
Yeah, tough place to go.
Last year,
that's right, good side, yeah.
It probably brings back memories of when you went and done it. So I know we got into that later on in the but
yeah.
So
we were down Cork, I think 4 times in one season.
Yeah, the away days, I say, some crack on the way back.
Still, I would say the best days.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? They really are the best.
Until I get a phone call at 2 a.m, where are you? Yeah. Bring it back then, obviously, through your schoolboy and grown up in and around. If you did you stick around and play?
My whole schoolboy career, I was with 2 teams. Cambridge till I was 10, they were Rings End, and then Pierce Rangers from 10 to 18. Majority of our team came from both of them clubs.
What old are you, Gary? What age group would you have been with? Year group, sorry.
So I'd have been a year younger than all the likes of your group. I think I'm 36 now.
Right.
So the likes of Aidan, they all played the year over.
And Lee and all that, yeah.
Schoolboy, I think one cup or one league was all we ever won. We weren't a big club or anything, but unbelievable days, to be fair. So as I said, most of the lads did come from Pierce Rangers.
Did many people venture outside and go on a little bit to other teams?
That was in that team, probably just like the captain there, David Andrews. He played most of his days at Cherry Orchard. Ado and Lee, I think, went up to, I think they were at Lourdes. Other than that, it was really all local.
Yeah.
Carl O'Brien was obviously, he was at home farm, then he went off to Leeds at a young age.
And then he ended up back then, which is as well.
Yeah,
then it's
Carl,
great.
Carl was with us. I think the first year we were back, I think he gave it a couple of months, and then he came down, I think, at the Christmas, but it was a big step down for Carl. He was at being with Belgrove, Bangor, but he was unbelievable for us and the experience he has, you know.
Yeah,
obviously there's a big thing about facilities now in and around City Centre about what the pitches and all that. So what was the facilities like back then? What were you playing or training and stuff?
As in schoolboy?
Schoolboys, yeah.
Schoolboy we were always in the park on the grass pitch. The Astro wouldn't have been built back then.
In where the Astro is.
That was just the pitch, yeah.
All your schoolboys days there, yeah.
If that was off, then there's nowhere else. Obviously there's no Astro back then.
No, but the amount of weeks you'd have a game off. It was horrible getting the text or a phone call back then on a Saturday.
I think a lot got let go back then, and then now if someone spits on the pitch nowadays, it's called off.
True, yeah.
Actually, there needs to be mud bats. Maybe played up north against Cherry Orchard up there, and it was not messing pure muck, and it was a great game. Pissing down, sliding, tackle for ages and all, you know. Love them days.
Yeah. So how did it carry on then? We went from 18s.
Well, no, he was 18 then. We all sort of rare Pierce Range team. We would have went to Liffey's second team back then.
So Liffey's were a team back then.
Yeah,
when were Liffey set up?
Liffey were originally 1885.
Oh, were they? Yeah,
right. If not the oldest.
Right, very good. I didn't know. I thought you were a new team because you did just go.
See, we followed in 2010.
Right.
I actually wasn't with them in 2010. I was playing with Marks at the time, but so I couldn't even see it right now. But 2010, we were playing the top league in 2010, you know, and 3 years later I got back on. So it was fouled for 3 years.
Right.
And then what happened was because we had to be in the top league, we were hoping for as high up as we could get, but coming back a few years later, and they said no, Major 1 they put us in, you know. And I always remember that we were sort of devastated because there was a fair few leagues down. And I always remember my dad saying, look, it's just an extra year that we'll have to stick it out till we get towards the top. But it ended up being the best thing that could have happened to us, because we had the first year back. We went on we got the quarter final of the FAI Junior.
In the first year, you
came back and
senior football.
Being very honest, it was just a huge novelty, and we never expected to get that far. And playing all around the country, and we got to the quarter final. We lost down in Ballinanty. We'd now keeper's Sean Brazel's his missus was having the christening. I remember my dad begging him, just tell her you'll say her that night. You know?
We get you none of them.
He hasn't lived that down. 12 years on, we still bring it up with him. But we went down, we played a young fella in goal. He actually ended up being a goalkeeper, my cousin James, and we were beating 3-2 down there, but some experience. I'd say there was about 1,500 people at the game.
Went
down in Limerick,
yeah. Did you bring a crowd down with you?
We brought a few down, but they had some crowd, and I have to give it to them. But the noise of them.
The country lads, they do.
Fairness to them. And just I remember after that thinking, like, they actually got to the final. They were beaten. It was the first year in the Aviva, I think, but they got to the final that year, and we started saying like there wasn't much of a difference, you know. We should have really beat them down there, and the next year we just sort of went out thinking, right, we'll have a good go at this. We really did, and as I said, it was the best thing that could have happened, because if we'd went straight into major, we'd only had 1 year in the FAI Junior.
That's right, as a junior.
You'd only had 1 year at it, because we won the 2 leagues.
And you're straight into intermediate.
Straight into intermediate. So that one decision, I always look back thinking it was a pivotal moment, and probably in winning what we did, you know.
And did your dad? What year was that then when you was?
It was 2014. So my dad was with Patsy Whittle then.
And then did he reform Liffey's then?
No, so he left CY. He wasn't on bad terms or anything, but they got to the Leinster Senior Cup final in Tala Stadium. He was sort of leaving after that, and he was never going to not manage. I just remember probably 3 weeks he was finished county. He says, you still think about getting Liffey's back on? He says, yeah, look, I'm in. He said, I'll do it. We had a meeting one day, I think it was 5 or 6, it was in the pub, and he was there, and just went from there. He said, right, he called a meeting for put up on social media or whatever. We had a meeting in the Malden Hotel. Liffey's back on, and anyone interested, show, you know. I think 60 players showed up to the meeting, you know. Now some of them are probably there just for the laugh more than that, and they weren't going to play, but I always remember the numbers that turned up, and he loved the meeting before games and just tell them how it was going to be, like being his training, don't bother coming the weekend, like that type of thing. There was about 60 players there, and we got back on, and again at this stage we still didn't know what league we were in.
Just create a Saturday team as well then?
He always actually, he was adamant, he said, to have a successful first team.
It is,
and keep them close in level as well. There's no point in having one down the bottom leagues, because it's too far away. You can't filter guys in.
We had 2 good lads managing the second team, and if there's a decent relationship there, you can always say, look, they need to get minutes, and or vice versa if you want to take someone up from the Saturday team. But I do think to be a top side you have to have a second team.
And most top sides that do, they nearly always do have a fairly decent, you know, that are up challenging or winning. They
the ones in the senior league are nearly always have a top Saturday team.
Definitely,
But so that went well. I was on the first night down the park. Everyone was warned. Like as again I was talking beforehand about the money involved in setting up a club. I think we had to pay out $5,000 just an old bill from 2010 on the pitch. Remember, if you want right on the pitch, they said you'd have to pay the old bill, and it cost a fortune. I remember people had an insurance, and I remember the first night too, I think two lads done that. One done his cruciate, one broke his ankle.
Good
First night back in the
Sake.
Rip up that check.
Yeah.
Go back to see why.
No one had insured, but the original, the right from the first night back, it was just great times. You know?
He said the whole thing's in behind. People just say we set up a new team. Can we do that? But as you said, money has to go. You have to put league fees in. You have to put the insurance in. Yeah. So obviously the committee had to get formed then as well. So I'm sure your dad was on the head of it.
He sort of
he was the committee.
He was the committee. Yeah.
There was a few lads now at the time. Manto Gannon was always involved, and
you need people. You can't do anything. On your
you need
own.
someone who's dealing with the league separately. Yeah, that's the main thing. But we had an unbelievable committee, and in that interview we done, he speaks so highly of them because without a good committee and strong committee, it's just very, very hard.
Yeah,
to
totally.
you know. But as I was saying again about the money, there's players in not even in this day and age in all areas that just don't realise how hard it is.
Goes into it, yeah.
It's taken, I think, he's not saying on any players' end, but they probably take them little bits for granted a little bit, you know, like that is what's going on.
I still go
to keep
into
the
the
club
dressing
going.
room and when we're collecting subs or whatever, and I say people don't realise how lucky they are to just be getting charged a tenner.
Yeah,
you know, for what's involved in it.
Of course,
Doesn't even put a dent
no, like the people that do all these things, like you're talking like from the secretary. You know, I'm on the committee now up at Finglas Night, like probably what yourself was doing at Liffey's, and then looking at people like say likes of Pudgy and all, and you never, as a player last year, they never looked at like Pudgy's position say too much, or Jay Lee around the clubhouse. He's up here full time, marking pitches, cleaning jerseys, setting everything up, like and the phone calls Pudgy has to deal with and dealing with league representatives, like it's like
I love getting stuck in there with the committee, but that's one thing I said I just couldn't do, like a secretary or a chairman, dealing with just dealing with everyone, leagues, managers and other clubs now. I'm happy to chase balls and pick up cones, but there's a few other lads doing
John Fox is talking about he's doing with 3 or 4 different jobs, and I don't know how he does it now, but that's on himself though, because he takes them on himself, because he doesn't trust anyone else to do it basically. But I said, how does he sleep on night? Because he go home like,
job.
We're the exact same down at Liffey's with a fella, my cousin Steve Mooney. He does absolutely everything. He never misses a night training. He opens up an hour and a half before matches.
Force one there,
and it is. And in fairness, I don't think it's taken for granted. Everyone knows what he does, and the likes of the other lads do as well. So.
Love the club, as you say, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. So how did the first couple of training sessions go then? Did you just get everybody?
No, what happened was we thought, being honest, first 4 or 5 weeks I'll never forget it, because talk about a reality check. We thought we did think we were on a steamroll. Like the players we had, like I said, like the likes of Ado, Lee. Lee didn't come for the first year, but we had a brilliant squad, and we did think first game playing against a team called Brazil. First game was at home. First away game, Brazil. I think.
Who are they? You're probably thinking.
Where did they play from?
But I just remember going out and they beat us 2-1. I was thinking, jeez. I remember telling people in work and all, who beat us? Brazil. I got there. That was a bit of an embarrassment. I think we lost 2-3 in the first 5. We ended up, I think we nearly won 17 games in a row in the league that year to win the league, but the first few weeks were definitely tricky them. We didn't, it wasn't like the very first night that squad just assembled the team that we won the few cups with. Took a bit of convincing for a few of them, you know, because like, understand we saw players didn't want to drop from the top league down. It's a pride thing as well, isn't it? You want to
definitely
play as high as you can.
It goes what age you are as well, though. Young lads going through that kind of bit naive, want to play at the top. But as you get older, they need to have in the mid-20s, late 20s. You couldn't say, I'll go back down and play with lads and see how it goes for a year or two to get the love back, you know.
You can see both sides of it, to be honest with you. And then I think as people watched a couple of games, they're saying, well, like, everyone's loving it, you know. And I think by the Christmas Carl O'Brien came down, when he came down, that was a huge thing for. Then the likes of Lee came back, Conor Riddick, unbelievable player for us. He came back from.
Sometimes it only takes that one.
That's
player,
what
it
was.
To drop down a little bit.
Carl came, we got a good few more, and by the start of the second year, it was nearly the same squad that we had for 5 years, 6 years.
Because it can be
very little change.
A flip of a coin as well, because you could have easily have done nothing there as well. Say, and I know I had a bad season. Say, because we spoke about it even earlier. You said in between the FAI Junior Cup win and the intermediate that year, you had a bad year. So it can easily happen.
He used to go mad. He used to say it was a hangover from the junior. It was just the start of the 2016 season. We were deplorable. Just it took about 5 months of being awful. He always used to say it won't happen again after. So
won't let it,
we just can't
and
do it.
You can understand then what you're saying about young players even saying like to themselves, you know, if they want to play at the top level and they're like, oh, I want to play at the top level now, but don't see the kind of the future to it. But there again, the flip of the coin, they could say give 2 or 3 years and drop down and not come up or not get to where they want to be, and then probably deploy into a lesser player than what they probably would have been around the top level. So
the majority of the players would have been sort of 25, 26 around then. So
good age.
They weren't too young where you wanted to. So the first year was, as I said, we won the league on the Sunday, and we had that Polycoff final on the Friday, and just the amount of drink on the Sunday and it was we are well beaten in that Polycoff final. We went up.
Who would you play?
Played Minute up in the UCD Bowl, but 1-0 they beat us. We have very poor sustained and Nelson before it. But I always still have a laugh at Carl and Nato. They were still a few days into it, and I still always say I blame them. I blame them.
He's won the league on the Sunday, was it?
Yeah.
Carl went down and then when was the Polycoff final? Friday.
It's the Friday. So good. I think that was the only final we ever played in that we lost. But
had 2 stinkers, did they?
Yeah. Their standards anyway.
You won't edit that one out.
Yeah, no, we did. But even that night, even the cup final we lost, that night back in the pub, the weekend of it, just remember brilliant days. You know, you get over the loss fairly quick. People don't like to admit it, but you sort of have to look back at a good season and just enjoy it. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And the next season was obviously the year we sort of start the next season really thinking we're going to have a go at. As much as you always say the league's our bread and butter, we really fancied having a go at the junior. You know?
Yeah, everyone wants that.
Especially in the quarters.
Yeah, and it was probably, we felt it was a bit of a hard luck story because Ballinanty went to the final. Now they were beaten 4-0 by Michaels in the final, and but they were a good side. But I just remember thinking, and I still go back to the keeper, the fella we had in goal got nutsed by the right full. An OG to make a 3-2. We still say that wouldn't have happened with a
you had your normal keeper in. Yeah. He was at Kristen.
Probably fuming.
And then he wanted us all to go out with that. I think a few of us went down late, lashed into him. So that was the year. But again, probably the best thing that happened to us that was not getting the.
Because he gave me the hunger then to push for it, and then what he's done the second year after that, then push for it. The following year,
see, to win the juniors, they play 10 games.
Yeah,
you know, I think there's 800 teams.
And like you're gonna get the country games as well, away games, like, and they're the tough ones. I think that they're where it's won,
in the last
to be honest.
32 or 64, it could have been even. We played Merview down in Galway, and we only beat, it was 0-0. They missed a penalty on the 85th minute or something to make it 1-0. Just little things like that, man. I know we keep us safe. I put it over. I'm not sure, but we beat them on penalties. But they were a very, very good side. I remember like the crowd down watching it, but it was gas all the Galway. There was hundreds down watching it. Loads of the Galway fans were they were cheering when we won, and their committee were thought there was just weird. We bleeding hate these, you know.
Yeah, they were from the opposite side.
The opposition said, "I'm fucking delighted, just won." You know?
So
they were very good. So your man scores that penalty.
It's a different story,
you know. But yeah, we had a few great teams down the country that year. Played down in Cork. I think we beat 3 or 4 Cork teams.
So the way your dad was, what did he do differently, or his training, or his man-to-man management, or what was he like?
Mad because
you probably have a different relationship as a player, though, was it?
He was so modest. He hated taking plaudits. Throughout his whole managerial career, he started with Beach Hill, and he was with Railway, but he always had a brilliant assistant. And
that's what I was going to ask. Did he have someone?
He always put the credit on them. He started with Railway Uni. He had his mate Sean Bannable with him. He took the training. He actually picked most of the teams at the end. They had a great relationship.
Was he more of a manager, more than coach?
With Liffey's, it's actually one of my good mates, Scott Fowley, was the assistant manager. He was only he had to pack in. He was a goalkeeper. He packed in at 24, so he was their assistant, being the same age as us, which it should have really been very hard for him, but it wasn't. He was brilliant. He done unbelievable training with us. The year the junior, he actually wasn't with us. He was doing something else, but he came back straight after. He was with us for the intermediate. He never ever really took training sessions. As in, he'd just stand over watching, but he always just let someone else take. He'd tell you himself, he was never really never that into tactics, or if the very rare occasion where the assistant couldn't make training, he go, lads, just stuck with me. It's hard running for 15, 20 minutes.
And give a ball.
He always put it down to having great assistants. And over the years he did. Mark Benson was with him the whole of the CY. Then Barry Rowe, he was with us for the year we won the junior, but he took very little training. I still slag him about it now. He'd no interest. He just loved being around. Lee Roach took the whole season really at the year we won the junior as a player. Now, as a player's point of view, we just done what we all wanted to do. A little small warm up, just ball for the whole night, you know.
A player, he's gonna know.
Yeah, he just didn't. He used the two keepers and we just played football. It was never really too much drills, but yeah, he put a lot of it down to Scott. Scott was a brilliant assistant for Liffey's. He was saying to Nelson before, he's the director of football now down at Cambridge. He's a brilliant coach, but he might one day go back to management and senior football, but with us he was unbelievable. But he would really put a lot down to him. Regarding his management style, I'd say every single player that would ever play from would nearly tell you the same thing. It was they were just want to run through a wall from, you know. He'd give a team talk about it, wouldn't be too much. He'd let the coach come in and talk about that. It was just getting you up for the game. Yeah, we obviously lost a lot of games over the years, but very rarely could I say we lost with a whimper, you know. If someone ever beat you, they had to work hard. You know, that was the type of team. All the teams were, to be fair. It wasn't just with Liffey's. Railway, Beach Hill and CY were the exact same.
So the year that he's got knocked out of the junior, probably hoping that bit that he came with the bit between the teeth.
He didn't. Yeah, he tried to look as a positive, but he said, same as what I'm saying to you there. He got that belief that we could go the whole way the next year. You know, he
obviously knew what he had. You know what I mean? As a manager, you'd see it, wouldn't you? Like if you
and especially with the Liffey's team, he was too modest, but he used it constantly ram home by how good that Liffey side was. You know, there really was some brilliant players in there. Again, it was still junior football, but if you look at Sheriff in that league, they were junior football right throughout. And
that was strong. That was strong back then, though. When you was winning that league, like Premier A and all was strong.
They were brilliant. We haven't seen many better amateurs than Sheriff now.
There's a bit of debate there going across the older lads that with the Kevins and stuff like that. They're saying, well, that's not that side, but there was teams before Sheriff.
Yeah,
there was bad teams, but
you have to even every Crumlin side a few years, and how they done it over such a long period was very impressive. But in terms of a lot of teams are nearly beaten by Sheriff.
I'd agree with you with the whole Sheriff thing there, but sure, people always will have their own opinion about football.
Again, I'm talking about how things work out. The year we played Sheriff, blessing in disguise, was we played them in the quarter final of the Leinster Junior, and it was a Good Friday. I remember it because the pubs are shut back then, and that must have been well over 1,000 down watching. It was some game down on
in your place there, actually,
because no pubs are open. The whole everything was down. It was a huge crowd. They had to double the barriers.
A good inner city clash. Yeah,
they hammered us 4-1. It was 1-1 till about the 60th minute, and then they pulled away. They were very good, but probably a little element of, I'd say, they admitted themselves, they probably thought it was going to be a bit easier than it was for them, you know, in the final.
Yeah,
we didn't really give them that tough of a game. We were missing a few as well. We knew we were missing a few players, but that game gave us
hidden in the skies,
going back in the final. In the final, we had been given no chance, to be fair.
The build up to that final was unbelievable. I remember
absolutely brilliant, because we're saying
talking about the
both sides, the bridge, and the colours on both sides.
Less than a mile in between, and to be fair, I want to see how much Pear Street got behind it. And I'd say Sheriff had the exact same thing, because like it was more the anti-Sheriff and the anti-Pear Street thing. Like they go around the video, the V were obviously sponsoring it, and Kevin Kilbane was going around the schools, and all the kids are roaring for Liffey's and Pear Street, and the same as Sheriff. It was just some build up again. They put some money into it. They did that year.
Brilliant. But it was great to see the two communities getting behind each other, because I don't think you see enough of that now.
And you know what? If we'd have played, say, Greystones or something, banger in the final, you wouldn't have got half of them there. They just
course.
people who didn't have an interest in it had an interest because of the rivalry. The morning of the final, there was a video TV crew recording a fucking tug of war.
Over the bridge.
Men of each on the bridge. Yeah, there's videos of the 20 blokes in all Liffey's jerseys painted onto big fellas, and the same with Sheriff. They won 2-1. All that's in the video. Just see tug of war, hundreds watching.
Brilliant. What we were saying there, so when you have a good bit of footage as well.
On them DVDs, they're brilliant. Yeah, they're great to have for us. I remember Ger Walsh, he went around a lot of families and all. My granddad giving best of luck messages, and then when he arrived to the hotel where we met around the corner with the Aviva, and he showed us on the big screen. It was unbelievable. It was a surprise. No one was expecting it. And I always remember my dad going, right, we're going back down to the pub, the Padraig Pearse there on Piercy from the so we were up at the Aviva. He said, we're going back down. And I remember going, what are we going back down here for? He goes, I'm just going to wave, like, to see all the crowd. And I remember saying, that's a bit bleeding cringe, you know. So it's, what the fuck. So anyway, we went down, and I couldn't have walked out better.
Probably the best feeling you've ever.
Outside the pub.
Unbelievable.
You see it in the video and all, they're all waving, roaring. Even the pairs in the back of me neck stand up here. You're leaving the pub, you're like demons going to the Aviva, and there was a bit of a clash with the buses. Like their bus was coming, and we were to go in 5 and see forward, and because we had lay. We pulled into the tunnel, and everyone's getting off the bus. I couldn't have walked out better. I remember going, what a shout going back to the pub. We thought there'd been 100 people, 200 people outside maybe, but it was they got the street closed off, a street party and all. And Sheriff had the same, but again, that was the money put into before the Buntons, all Pearse Street and Sheriff Street. You drove down Sheriff Street, it was green and white everywhere.
Do you get over the bridge, then it changes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, yeah. And again, you probably wouldn't have got a quarter of the crowd there if it wasn't. I think it was 12,000 at that.
Was there myself? Some game was
the whole side.
Phil O'Connor man the match. Unbelievable.
It was brilliant.
I still watch the game regularly at the few saves he made. They did miss a couple of chances, but we missed a good few chances as well, you know, wasn't it?
He ran his socks off.
Yeah, we were dead on our feet at the end, but a lot of people didn't realise they went down to 10 men on the 90th minute.
Yeah, that's right.
Some of their own players didn't realise.
Was it John Rock?
John Rock, cheating cunt. Just before they got the equaliser, so they knew they had to play extra time. Well, I knew they had to anyway with 10 men, but again, some of their players didn't, because it was that much of a moment.
We played Sheriff years ago with Wefta up in Mater Christie. Probably a nothing game. I don't know whether don't think it had any meaning to the game, but it was a league game anyway. And they was down to 10 men after first 5 minutes, I think. I'm sure you would have been playing. But they were down to 10 men, but they played against us like they had 11 men. Like we couldn't hurt them, like we couldn't do anything. Like, so that's how strong they would have been. They'd have been well able. Like,
done it against Cabardic as well in the FAI as well.
The
down to 10 men, down to men, they won it.
They did, yeah.
Brown, was it Brown?
I think they won 4 or 5.
That's right, yeah. When I went to penalties that time, yeah, that's right.
And John Wembo missed 2 penalties. sorry.
Yeah, they were an unbelievable side, and again, I do often think that's probably what makes it the better story, I suppose, you know, that the inner city rivalry. But
the build up to that, then Gary, coming out onto the pitch and all, and knowing that the fans are there, and the buttons, the coach around, the drive around, and then they're walking out and all. What
and even on
the
the video was just unbelievable. And some people always say they don't like calm down before the game. I was always the opposite. I just loved being
the hype,
pumped up, and you know, thinking about it all day. I wouldn't think about it in work around the match that night. But coming out in the tunnel, there was a bit of, like, there was not words, but there was, get into fucking you know, you're standing there. First few, we went 1-0 up after 5 minutes. Lee Rhodes got a great header, and we did have to defend for an awful lot of the game, but we got a good few chances as well on the counter. And then in the extra time, we had more chances, you know, about getting the extra man. I'll never forget this. Just the weekend after, I'll never forget. What
score did it finish?
2-1.
2-1. Who got the winner for this?
Callow. He only came on. My dad still laughed him right.
I remember that.
He fell.
He took the shot.
He said he should have never got it. He was told to come on and sit in. That was Callow for you all over. He was a great footballer, but my dad would say, just won't play a position, they didn't want to stay anywhere. You know, he says he shouldn't have got to go because he shouldn't have been there. You know,
still get down to the chap.
But yeah, come on, he got a scream, and that's the stuff you dream of, getting that moment of the cup in the final in front of everyone.
All the fans, unbelievable. Yeah.
See that night when they're celebrating with us, or a little sit down and a little saying, "Fuck me, this had to happen," like a little debrief.
I remember afterwards, we got all in the dressing room. Both teams were due to go up. You had to go up anyway for with the Aviva and the presentation. And I remember saying, I never was drained in my life. We had bottles of bud brought in. I remember thinking I was so drained. Never really got into that night properly. It was more the next morning. The whole period, that was on a Sunday back then, so it was a Monday morning. And I'd say the pub on the Monday morning at 10 o'clock had 200 people in it. It was like that was the main day for the celebrating, you know. That night it lashed down rain. I always remember there was like sort of a street party and it couldn't get going because the rain was so bad, you know. But just unbelievable times. Callow, what a goal! What we all dream of, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real Roy the Rover story, isn't it? Like, you know, the underdogs coming up and you're kind of so far down in the leagues. And
sure, even a few weeks before it, we got 50 to 1 to win it, you know. Played a few great teams. We played North End in the semi-final. Don't think I've ever played them, but brilliant side from Exford again. We beat them down.
We beat
them down in their place in the Leinster Junior. It was probably one of the best teams we've ever played against. I remember we beat them 5-3, but we took 5 shots, we scored 5. They were absolutely brilliant. I remember going down in the semi-final, we knew what we were up against.
We knew they were a decent team.
They were brilliant. They were, I have to say. Still talk to a good few of the lads up, like sound blokes, you know. Still talk to them on Twitter and all. And Jay, Paulie Murphy, 2 sound blokes, and still keep in contact with them to this day.
So the season after that, then was it not rebuild? You probably added 1 or 2 players. Probably a few more lads wanted to come down because you're FAI Juniors.
A couple came down, not necessarily bad players, but a few people.
Bit of hype kind of about it, a little bit there was,
So, I know we finished 3rd in the league that year. The only league we didn't win on the way up, and we are blessed. Near the end, it was tight to get promotion. That's how bad we started. By Christmas, we were low mid-table. That's when Scott came in, played down in Newbridge. Remember
what league would you have went into then?
That was one
below the intermediate.
And you're sort of having doubts, like, it's the intermediate. For that first few months, I think the intermediate was that bit step up, you know. But we ended up getting promotion, and then in senior 1, 2017 was the year we won the intermediate. We won the league that year. We are back on sort of the same squad now, to be fair, but we're back to our best. Really.
Was the thought process straight away? Here, we've done the FAI, let's go intermediate now, or was it kind of ease your way in the league first and then?
No, I can't remember off the top of my head being too like, oh, we win this. I don't think it was that ambitious. I think the second year we got a lot of Cork teams. I think we played for them, and the semi-final down in Cork, I'll never forget it. It was I've never seen it. It was the ultimate Liffey's performance. We had down to 10 men.
Who was that against?
College Corinthians, and we had down to 10 men just before. After 20 minutes, and we just dug in. We got two goals on the break. They actually missed the penalty as well. But we looked. I remember thinking, it's not going to happen here. But it was some performance, and now we are going back. It was still in the Aviva again at that stage, you know.
Yeah.
Not a shame that it leave the Aviva, both cups. I have to say, I don't feel.
Of course.
I just think I lost a little bit of.
Yeah, good affiliation.
Well, as you said that yesterday or the day before, I just seen on it. Is it Old County against Lucan Saturday side? And I don't even know what round that was. Usually before you look at it like from the last 32, last 16.
But the road to the Aviva.
Yeah, but now it's gone. Like, I don't know who's in it.
Playing Tala now, did it?
So it depends who the 2 finalists are. Right, so we're down on that in the semis now in a few weeks, and I'd say if there's 2 Cork teams, they're going to have it down in Cork. Or if it's Cork or Dublin, they'd probably just go somewhere in the middle, you know. It's not determined yet. But they said it was just down to money.
The intermediate, yeah. I was talking about the FAI. The FAI is the Old County and Lucan, and then I don't know who intermediate is are playing in.
Who's in the other semi-final?
The other one is freezing here now. 2 Cork teams anyway.
Yeah. Cork teams seem to be dominating a little bit now.
Yeah, in the last few years. I remember one year it was, I think, Avondale and Crumlin, no one won it other than them two for 9 or 10 years.
For a few years, that's
5 and
right.
4,
Yeah. Well, I know in saying that, I think in Glebe won it last year, didn't they? They beat
Ringland.
I think there was all Cork teams as well, bar Glebe was in the semis as well. But what a time to go down there even again. Like it's there for the taking for anyone. Obviously, once it hits the semi-finals, anyone
would
can
the preparation be different? Will you stay over the night before? Or
no, we talked about that with Eno a few weeks ago, and straight away he said no. I think Usher done it a few weeks ago. I personally think your players are sitting around the night before. They're not going out on the drinks, and then the next morning you're just waiting around.
It's a bit more
it's like school kids going down messing around, fucking
exactly.
Acting bollocks.
No, so don't just the benefit outweighs, you know.
Yeah.
So we go down now at half 8. Saturday morning.
What time's kick off?
2.
Enough time, and then pre-match meal and whatever else, and on the way down.
Stopping somewhere halfway.
The year you go to, obviously after beating College Corinthians, then did you play any senior Sunday teams leading up to that in the intermediate?
In the intermediate was all
country
that
teams.
Year it was mainly, it was 4 Cork teams: College Corinthians, Marys, Liffey Wanderers in the final, and Rockmount. But a few of them were at home. But as I said, going up to Cork, we only ever lost once.
Scouts some good teams there.
Everton, and that was in a game. I'll never forget it. It was the week before the intermediate. We had to
play
in the FAI Cup. We had to play in the FAI Cup, and we brought down a lot of the Saturday lads because he wasn't risking people getting sent off or whatever, or injured the week before the final. And Everton didn't want to play the game either. Their centre mate got married the night before, but they weren't changing. The FAI weren't allowing the game to be changed, and it was 0-0. And in the 90th minute we got a penalty, but they were hanging out, and they were all of them are dying. After the wedding. And I'll never forget, we missed the penalty in the 90 minute, and I had to go into extra time, and the fella standing beside me was gutted. He was genuinely devastated. Calling Carl O'Brien all sorts who missed the penalty. He says, fuck it, I'm going to beat half an hour with this. They were dying. They beat us on penalties, but all the trips we had down there, that was the only one we ever lost, and we still had a good day, you know.
Yeah, very good.
As we were talking at the start, you just can't beat the country trips, you know.
There's
so much for the team. It really does.
For the bond on the way back and all that. Yeah. Great crack. So who came in then when you went intermediate? Did you get any signings that year?
The year we won the intermediate, few players came down, and we were in senior 1. Yeah, senior 1. We won that league. Mario came down. Another fella, Sam Simpson.
Sam
came down. I think we didn't have too many. We never got too many signings, new signings, because whether right or wrong, my dad never ring any player. I can very rarely throughout his whole management remember ringing anyone. He used to say, no, I'm not ringing. If they want to come down, they can come down. He says, I'll happily take them. He said, if I ring them and they're not getting in, they're there.
Do you expect it's going to be starting?
And I think towards the end, not that was his downfall. Of course, it wasn't his downfall, but towards the end, we badly needed new blood. You know, a lot of us sort of got all together. We got the senior Sunday, and I wouldn't say a regret, because you can't help playing.
You want to get to the top.
We got to the top league, and we lost basically the spine of the team. Phil went to I think he retired. Phil. Dave Rams was out injured for the season. The captain, he was unbelievable for us. Conor Riddick was centre mid, and then Ada went to Crumlin. So we literally lost. We stayed up for 5 games to go, but it was a bit of a whimper that season. You know, it was disappointment. I think after that, then after COVID came. My dad stepped down just before COVID. He said, it needs a change of face. There was no bad blood. He went straight on the committee as the chairman. That's when Lee Roach and Buzzer came in. And they brought loads of new players in fairness to them. We got off to an unbelievable start. I think we won 4 out of 5.
Dino signed, didn't he? Dean Kelly
Dean Kelly signed, He signed a good few of them. And COVID came, and we were going on a bit of a slump just before then, and it wasn't a relegation battle, but we had to win a few to sort of get clear of it. And then I think they only done a year. It was more than a year in total because of the way the season went, but they brought in the players we really needed, you know. And then of course they went, and
what happened there with Lee and Buzzer? What did they?
No, I think
Did they enjoy the first year in management, or was it?
I think they
early for
realised. I
them,
think
or
everyone realised how hard it is.
it is.
Like, we always go back to you even say what we say about me ma. My ma was unbelievable because you have to have someone who understands. Like I've gone so many hours a week.
Yeah, if you have your missus and kids,
and I think when my dad wasn't management, my ma wished he was. Saying
Get him out here.
20 years of managing.
How much we EastEnders here?
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
We used to say training nights when I watch me soaps.
Yeah,
exactly. She was in her routine.
Because
she came to every match.
Routine
yeah,
as well,
but she came to most
yeah,
matches.
yeah.
Certainly every home game she came to.
Me and my miss like that. Well, now when I was playing pre-season or when the season was over, she was like, "We'll just get out of the house, do something."
Yeah. No, I'm still the same now. She knows every Monday and Wednesday I'm going around to open up the clubhouse or whatever.
So the intermediate game. So he's won again in the semi-finals. Another Cork team in the final. What's the build up to that? Obviously different to the Sheriff sort of thing.
Yeah, it was a little bit different. You don't know much about them.
Yeah.
You knew nearly too much about Sheriff because everyone sort of did.
Were you underdogs going into this again?
Cove was very tight. It was a very tight thing. Yeah, they.
Where was that played?
They in
Viva again.
They scored.
You're not listening here.
They scored. They scored in the last minute of normal time to go into extra time. And as you probably know, playing against Cork teams, they're always sort of tough. They hate dubs, but College Corinthians weren't tough for Cork. They
weren't that rugged.
They weren't from. I wouldn't say they're from the same area as us were basically. But I'll never forget it. I mean, dad always loved it. We had to play in the neutral ground. The semi-final can't be on a home ground. And we arrived say 2 hours before kick-off, so you're waiting around by the time he'd asked, right, we'd set up, he was all go out onto the pitch. And for whatever reason, the College Corinthians players, they tried to block the walkway. And Phil and Anto walked down and they wouldn't move out of the way. And it's just a big row broke out just before the game. No refs or no officials were there because it was so early, still 2 hours. And ended up being, but they weren't rough. They weren't. So the row happened and it was all blown. Yeah, it was, and it was just right. They all moved up and come on out, and it couldn't have worked out any better. As my dad goes, I won up here already. So they don't want to know. Them rails, that's just part of football,
It comes from, as you said, the areas that we're brought up on, you know what I mean? Like, we're from Finglas, from Pear Street and all, like deprived the areas, you know what I mean? And we have that bit of toughness in us, and especially when it comes to sport.
My dad was the same as well. He never held a grudge or something. Things happen in football, it's just part of it, the amount of times I'd be playing a game and you'd look over the sideline, down on their pitch, the two dugouts are
side by side,
at the spitting distance. It was that close, and it was a nuisance at times. You look at the big row breaking out, people getting separated and all. And 9 times out of 10, he'd be in the middle of it. Yeah. Be, what's going on here? But always after the game, he just overshook the second half. Sorry about that. He wasn't afraid to admit he was wrong or he went over the top. But it was never a personal thing. But they are just part of football, and it does happen,
Yeah. It should never boil over.
But that row that was just down in Cork, it was just uncharacteristic of a Cork team. It was the first time I've come across a team that weren't sort of rough down there,
Did you feel, even as players, did you kind of say, right, we're one up here a little bit, so going into the game?
They all sort of panicked a bit,
Yeah.
But I'll never forget, I don't know what it is about the officials down in Cork, it's very, very hard to get a result.
I know, I totally agree with that,
Like, it can't be said the other way around, because I think it's just so many.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think they feel that way?
Hate
the Dubs,
even the ones who you have a laugh, you ever meet on holiday, they just joke about it. We just fucking hate it.
But we got done twice in schoolboy football down there, and it was just literally blatantly robbed. And there's nothing you can say about it. Nothing.
I'll never forget, I was sent off in the semis 20 minutes, and it was the joy in the line-on. The ref running over to be given the red. How quick he did it, and it's devastating.
The hand came up.
Unbelievable.
Forced.
They just
forced it.
But
did you miss the final?
Yeah, we didn't play in this final.
Yeah, joking me.
No, I didn't play.
Did you deserve to get sent off?
No,
honestly, no.
No, genuinely, I've got loads of deserved reds over the years, but it was one day.
You only had him 2 digs, did you?
Carl whipped the ball over. It was early on, it was 20 minutes in. Whipped the ball over, and the keeper, he was about 6'8". You had to give him, he was as brave as that, and he just came out like Schmeichel, big. So as I'm trying to take the ball down, and he just came through me like before cotton. I just wasn't looking at him whatsoever. People joked, he got a foot to the stomach. Now he did, but he just came out brave, and the ref just wasn't having it, you know. I thought it was very harsh. It was sick over it. It was one of the few games back then that was recorded. I remember trying to, the FAI said, no appeal, we're not taking, we're not looking at it.
You still
to this day they're not taking it, and I can see sort of certain things of it, but I thought, because it was only a 1 game ban, I clung on to a little bit of hope. I remember coming home on the bus thinking, I knew we were playing in Everton a few weeks later in the FAI Senior Cup,
hoping it could carry on.
I remember thinking, like, will they let us, because it's an FAI Cup, will they count it? I'd pay 5% hope. I wasn't too much. Remember my uncle Billy Billy Young, he rang in the FAI and he was asking them would they consider it. He says absolutely no chance. He said no, not happening.
Yeah, it's that little bit of hope you have. It's heart-wrenching, isn't it? Did your dad discuss that with you? Did you just talk about that?
He knew it was he just
like father to son type of thing.
We talked every bleeding. We live next door to each other, and every night we'd probably go walking 3-4 nights. All we did was talk about Liffey's back then at work. But he just knew. He said, "Look, there's no point in even talking about it. You're not going to be playing. Like, obviously can't play. Just get on with it." But it killed me. I couldn't explain how the devastation of it, you know.
Yeah.
So, like when you won, no, skipping ahead there. When you won, how was your feeling? You're like, yes, I know you're there, because I know you're Liffey's man, and that's your role at the club.
No, absolutely.
Was it on a person thing?
I still to this day can't class myself winning the intermediate as I did the junior.
You probably played every game up
I
to that
remember I got a goal in the quarter
you?
final down in Derry, and I just still didn't feel it. I can't, and that's not to say that you're not part of it, you don't get on.
No, of course.
I just had that
deserve it of a medal, absolutely. But it's I know the feeling. I know exactly what.
No, I wouldn't say I didn't win it or that, but I just didn't feel as the same. Didn't have the same feeling towards it.
It'd be hard to feel that.
Fucking referees, what?
Cork referee.
Oh yeah, sorry, Dublin referees. Cork referees.
No, it was devastating, but get on with it.
Did it sink in? Obviously, straight away.
I remember we had 1-0 up, and I remember thinking on the sideline, if we get these to it, if it's 1-1, we get the
you'll miss that game, and hopefully you beat them.
I wasn't hoping the equalise was like, because it was looking like they might get one back. I was like, we might still be able to play if they can, if these get it back.
Yeah, just thinking on the selfish end of things, of course.
Thinking like that.
Yeah, we'd all.
But I got back to that performance. It was something I've never. I can't. If it was on video, if there was video around back then, you'd have watched this all over. How well we just defended with 10 men. It was probably the best performance I've ever seen. You know?
Some teams was built like that, aren't they? That can get back to the walls, just defend.
Again, it goes back to the whole attitude of the team. Very good footballers in the team. Really was brilliant, but we had a certain style, and you'd have got slaughtered for it now. Like, we were a long ball team. With the keeper could kick the ball 80 yards into you could hit it into another box.
And then you have the likes of Lee and
then
Ado
I have to say, like Ado, strong as an ox, all through us for us. He was unbelievable centre forward, and we used to walk off the second ball,
and it was feed off scraps.
And then we played teams, and they'd be roaring all the down this fucking hoof, and we would
that directness is. I don't know that being direct. Like,
it wasn't as frowned upon 10 years ago as it is now, but we were.
That's changed.
Probably as well, where they were probably, because you probably weren't like you'd say a main top team.
Yeah, we weren't
they
well
probably
known,
wouldn't have known too much about you.
Exactly.
Really.
But that's the way we did play. Like, you used to play. You used to just raw. They can't score if it's in their half. Just get the ball up there, you know. And we played you always played like a 4-2-3-1, but the two that you play, two holding midfielders aren't what's expected of a holding midfielder now, you know. I used to play there, and he used to tell me, not about it, like, you don't start trying to think you're getting the ball and start playing. He was honest, you know. Don't say think you're going to get a turn and start playing.
Yeah, sure, you probably took that yourself.
No, I knew quite well what I was. That's what I was saying before I come on. I said, I know what I was. I certainly wasn't to the level of some of the players in the team, but there you had to work hard. He used to actively confront the team. He'd tell you another body. He says, you just get the ball, give it to Carl, let him start the play, you know. But and then I always remember one day we played up in Drogheda, and got ahead of myself, started getting the ball, and at half time he says, see you thinking you're fucking Glenn Hoddle, get the ball and give it to Carl. And still this day Glenn Hoddle, some of the lads call me. You know, still, what are you? And I said, no one even knows what Glenn Hoddle's like. He said, well, anyway, he's one of the best passes you'll ever see, and you aren't. He says, "No, you're game."
Straight back in the box there.
But sometimes you can't help yourself. You can't look.
No.
I've been in teams as well, positions where you wouldn't be nowhere near as much good. And then sometimes you get a little game, you probably go, "Oh, you're going to start trying."
There's probably one pass or something.
Exactly.
Just the one. Don't start.
Yeah, outside the view. Yeah.
But I didn't take it personal, to be fair. You knew what you were in the game for.
Did you just get into any? I know you played with your brother Dean played for you as well. Did anything ever come in the way, or was it always just?
Do you know what? It was
respectful?
probably a little bit harder for the. I don't really thought now was school or that, but it was probably a bit harder for me dad and Dean, because Dean was an unbelievable player, a lot better than me now. But he didn't play nowhere near as much. Probably, he tell you himself, he didn't probably keep himself as fit as he should have, and they ended up being in and out of the team a lot. And my dad often say to me, like, 3 days he hasn't said a word to me, you know, because they were living together.
Right.
Whereas I wasn't.
You're living next door.
There was never a play.
Close your windows
At
there.
this stage I wasn't, it was some way different, but he was, he'd say, he's not talking to me. And Dean would take it a bit personal. But
And would he be on to you then? They'd be on to you saying,
if you knew what Dean's like, the fella man does not stop moaning.
he looks like a man.
No, he does not stop. But he could play anywhere. That was probably part of Dean's problem. He never really kept a
certain position,
right full, centre mid or out wide. But
always easy to kind of move around and take out a team, them sort of utility players.
But, you know, he was very good. But they probably had more of that problem than I did, you know. But it was always he always sort of stuck to. It was again one of his strengths. He stuck to his principles of. That was a routine where if you went away, your jersey was gone, no matter who. And sometimes it was a disaster. You didn't want it. Like you know the lads yourself, Ado, Lee, the 3 road. Just talk about loving a holiday to be 4 of them a year. And yeah, Lee had great commitment and fairness. He would miss out, but they knew the rule. If you went away, you were out of the team.
It's your own choice, yeah.
So that was the system. He basically said, I have to stick to my principles. So the team sort of nearly did pick itself unless you got beaten, you know.
Yeah. Or else got a little weekend away would always ruin you, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I always remember we played Cherry Arts in the night. It was like being away the week before the intermediate, and he went away and we were all devastated. You know, he's not going to be in because you just couldn't. He just wouldn't play it.
He wouldn't play it.
Yeah,
brilliant.
As simple as that.
To do, especially for a player
training. If you had a valid excuse, was a bit different. But if you missed a match, you were out. Simple as that.
Yeah, good to stick.
I can't remember many like examples where he didn't.
So at least lads knew, and the team are probably saying, for fuck's sake, knowing that he's gone, but they probably would have said, most of the team would probably say, listen, just let him away with it.
Yeah, you were nearly thinking of it, and you think, I don't want him playing. But he's not. It's as simple as that, he's not playing.
And I think, I think probably the players that are probably in and out a little bit and are going to get that chance, then they probably have a bit more respect for the manager.
You're able to keep someone around because they know they have to wait for that
keep
chance.
them happy, exactly, yeah.
Well, we didn't really have much of a... Our squad never really changed over the course of the 7-8 years we were together.
Yeah.
And in the end, as I said, that was the problem. We all sort of went from 26 mid-30s together, you know. Yeah, so it was a complete rebuild. But go back to what it's like now. It's great times at the club. Hopefully a long may continue, but it does come in circles, but at the moment it's great. A lot of really promising lads, so hopefully it continues, and it seems to be the same with Eno. Good principles, and he sticks to his guns with that, you know.
Good, so we'll go back again to the final. Just want to.
Yeah.
So how, you on the bench though? Were you in the stands or were you on the bench? Or
it was on the. You got like a badge. That was in on the dugout, but I remember. Someone tried to say, Anto Gans was like, get the kit. I says, John, 30 me. I still had a jersey, you know. Give me the jersey.
I couldn't.
Shin guards and all on.
And I made sure to wear I was wearing a pair of shorts. I wore different colour shorts and all. So I'm not being classed. I wore socks and runners and all. I says, I'm not. But remember the final penalty went in. I was right in the middle of it with them, but I was over by the day. I had to be honest, 3-4 weeks.
The acceptance of it,
you had to.
The name was wise though as well. Putting the nails and everything else, or were you pumped enough?
It was devastating when they got the 2 goals. I remember watching the game, and all signs were we were going to lose because they conceded the 2 late ones. You know, it was good. But what happened was their centre forward, and never forget it. Again, you talk about little things making such a difference. Their centre forward got the got the equaliser in extra time. Fellow who scored the 2, I think, and he took his jersey off and sent a booking, so he couldn't take a penalty.
A joke.
And no, you just think
it goes to show you that small things like that.
Small things like he could have taken. Whoever stepped in for him missed the penalty.
Yeah,
you know.
He's at the scoring 2 goals.
He took his fucking jersey off, but I remember thinking he's gone, and so he didn't take the penalty. Watching it was, I wouldn't say horrible, it was far from horrible. Just I had sort of made peace with it by then that we're not going to be part of it, you know.
Celebrations just as big as they.
Celebrations were probably bigger, to be honest, because it was a Saturday. Can't explain how much bigger that was, and people that knew how big the last ones were.
How the parties for like last
They shut off parts of Pier Street. The pub was packed. I'll never forget it. Big street party that night. The live band on like a lorry. I remember thinking, imagine me being here. Take
it away.
Because by then you're getting sponsorships coming. Beat the bands, you know.
Was there a little parade which is on? Or
we done the same thing. We went back to the pub from the same hotel. Got a police escort actually for the second one. We had too early because the thing was so fast. Remember with my gran and granddad all on a horse and cart were brought up
brilliant.
to the Aviva.
Brilliant.
And they made a big huge deal. The whole of Pier Street basically walked from there to the Aviva. Some great photos of how many people are like walking across the bridge, you know. Especially the sheriff. Probably there was a lot more.
I don't think it's exposed enough, is it? Like,
no.
Like what years are they going through? Like, it's making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. But like when I'm looking on the outside and even being a part of it with Crumlin, when we got the intermediate final, it was just like we just met in a pub in Crumlin and just got the bus and just went there.
Yeah.
But there was, like,
well, see, Crumlin are just a winning machine.
No, of course, I get that. I get that as well.
It does become a bit expected, I suppose, but of them. But we're us probably after just coming back so soon, 2013. Because
it's
do the trophy so soon.
I don't think it's actually spoke about, to be honest. Because how many players or how many clubs or teams can you say that on the FAI Junior
in 3 years?
Like, almost
I think
back
Tech or something done it back in the 60s.
Is there anybody of recent that has done it even?
No.
Like, so, like,
see, it's so hard to win it from the LSL. It's very hard to win the junior from an LSL team's point of view because it's a second tier.
Yeah, to draw.
Do you know what I mean? Really. Owl County would probably be sort of like they'll have to be looking this year that they have a chance. Because again, similar to us, they're in that league that we were in when we won it, and they're playing way above that level what they're capable of. So that's probably the best chance that a team will have to do it from the LSL in years, you know.
Yeah. But regarding, say, the exposure of it, like from what you've got out of it and the footage that you have, and the
well, see, as I was saying, the footage would be brilliant if it was just still there, and I think it's still on Facebook now. But the first one was taken down because of copyright. One of the songs in it. So it's still on a DVD, alright, but it's not available to just come on and look at it. But some DVD, you know, it actually starts in 1987. The first 20 minutes of the DVD are when Liffey and CY played in the Leinster Senior final.
Brilliant.
So it's 20 minutes of all the old fellas interviewed, like 38 years ago, and it starts off with that, and people get interviewed, and then it's a night in our pub where the interviews all the old Liffey's lads in their 50s and 60s, best of luck and what have you, and give them their predictions. So some DVD, and again I go back to, I was at the time going, what have you?
Yeah, you know, I just said you probably thought it was cringe.
Yeah, I was like, this is big cringy, but recording it was the best thing you could have.
Yeah, do you look back on it much?
Ado still texts me every Friday night in Spain, Saturday when he's on the drink, a photo of the background. He has the DVD on. You know?
Brilliant, isn't it? Probably sticks it on
every all the time. Every weekend he watches it. It is great to have. I watch them the odd time, but probably every 2 years or so.
Yeah, it's great to look back.
I haven't actually watched it back since.
Like
Sorry, we had was it the Month's Mind? My dad's Month's Mind. They played it in the pub. Jesus, the whole place was in tears. I can't watch that.
Yeah, tough to watch. I'd say. Yeah,
just you hear he does a lot of interviews and talking, and you know. Well, it's great to have, and again, I will look back on them.
When the time is right.
They're always great with a few drinks though, and just to kind of sit down there.
The odd time now, I'd go back the odd time. He messages to him, you know, listen to the odd voice now, and I go, especially after a few points, I was like, knock that on the head.
Yeah. Good. It's probably good that you do have little things like that though, because if you didn't have them, you'd probably be saying to yourself,
Yeah.
I'd love to have something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I
Even
mean?
even the interview he does at the end of it, I don't know if it shows on the Twitter, but my uncle comes into him at the end, jumps on his lap and all. He has his Liffey's jersey on him, you know.
Yeah.
And then now that they're calling the pitch after him, the pitch down in Irishtown now is the John Young
That's right,
restaurant,
yeah.
and my uncle every time runs by it and he jumps up, touches the plaque,
Class,
you know?
yeah.
You have to look away sometimes.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course, yeah, I'm saying it is like,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable though, just to have like a figure like that, you know what I mean? And then to be proud son then of what, like he started Liffey's back up, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he did, and
without him,
as he was so modest, I was probably modest in talking about him that I didn't really like sort of bigging him up so much at times, and sometimes it's hard to, but I said coming on here now, I definitely like to hopefully do him justice and talking about the type of man he was, you know.
Because I don't think people knew. I didn't know too much about
yes,
his story.
Probably, you were playing on the different. I know you were with Crumlin and all, but
we were basically
we wouldn't have known the full story at all of it.
The time he died, he passed away. It was the tributes from clubs are unbelievable, you know, and it meant an awful lot. Like I remember even having to talk in the church and just how proud I was reading all of them. Again, so many people could relate to just coming across him, having an argument as such, and then just after just shook hands. And he was an unbelievable footballer, especially in amateur, more so in amateur football. He wasn't even too fussed. He was a United fan, but you give or take. If United won, he wouldn't get too down about it. He used to laugh at me going, "You say to me, do you think they cared about you?" You know. But no, when it came to Liffey's or whoever he was manager at the time, it was his whole life, you know.
Yeah,
it really was. It was what made him what he was, I suppose.
Of course, yeah, the man he was.
Respect they had through respect they had through the footballing game, like as you said.
When I seen Twitter that time, through it all, like the respect and some of the words and the kind words I seen on your page, even Gary, it was like I don't think I've ever seen anything.
No, even
before,
someone texted me
really
before saying, "Jeez, I went on to your dad's RIP. He said there was 12 pages or something. That's unheard of. I think there's 100 comments on a page.
Unbelievable.
The funeral itself, I'd say there was close to 5,000 people.
Really?
But I always remember going, I knew it'd be like that.
Yeah,
I remember ringing the liaison officer in Three Pts Please days and I said, look, I think this is going to be a big funeral. It's a Monday morning. Can we get like a sort of a road closure, a bit of, he goes, but I think there was 30 bikes down, and your man says to me after, she says, you weren't lying about that. He says, I've never seen it.
Should have 60.
It was some it was some turnout, you know. But again, I knew it'd be like that. I did. he sort of, as modest as he was, he knew the type of the love people had from a cant. And I go back to saying, I don't think there's a nice way to go, but how he went was, it couldn't have really went any better. He got a time frame. He said he got it in a year and a half, and he was going through chemo and all. And
did it all happen when he stepped down away?
He was the chairman. Yeah. So he just stepped away, and he just by chance got a test in work, and flagged it up, and then he just went very, very thin for a while. And then I think he was about a year and a half getting chemo, but he went brilliant, and he looked better than ever because he had to lose a bit of weight. My dad was a big man, I'd say he was 20 stone at one stage, you know. I think he went down to 40, and it was worrying, you know. But then everything was positive. He even says that in that video. Everything was just getting better, and your man said, "Look, we'll give it 3 months, and we'll try to come back and operate on that bit or whatever." And I remember, I think it was 2 months into it. I remember going, I was saying, he couldn't meet, the cousin was 18, I said, we're going for a pint, and he says, nah, I'm not going to, don't feel great. And I remember going, that's what's unusual, you know.
He liked the pint,
he loved the film around. He's on it, not every night, but for that occasion, when he said no, I went, jeez, I was out walking with him on the Monday night, and I could start to see the bit of yellow, and I just said, look at that, just go back up and get the, will he see it early? I'll never forget it, it was a Monday or Tuesday, and he's coming out from work, because he was back in work, he'd start doing that well, and he just rings, he says, you in your house? I says, yeah. He said, I'll meet you in the house in 20 minutes. I said, it doesn't sound good, is he? Nah, not great. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking at this stage, a few more bleeding, a few more chemos or something. Yeah. And he just walks in the door, calm as that, and he just says, look, it's 6 months. I'd never forget that moment as long as I just even hit me here, just the feeling. He was so calm, my ma breaks down, like, wrong, he said, relax, he's trying to calm her down. He had to be on to his boss to tell him, he had to be on to another fella sorting something out, and he already had rang 2 people and he said, look, what can you do? He was so positive from the whole
Takes
time.
a strong man to be
Yeah,
able
so
to act that way.
I think that week was when he done that interview with Jer. So he wanted to still do it while he was sort of capable, you know. We went on a holiday, the whole family, we booked it last minute. My brother and all came and we went over to Malta. We had 12 days. I think 6, 7 days. The holiday were unbelievable. The memories, up singing karaoke and all them. Towards the end of it, he was just sort of in the bed for a while. And I remember going, look, can we fly home? He just said, no. He said, not having you, because loads of all my mates now were there with the kids. He says, what news, come home, your holiday? He says, look, I'm just staying in the bed here. He says, I'll be staying in the bed at home anyway, so it's no different. He said, I'm happy here, don't be worrying. Thinking of others, you know. Now we got home from the airport and that was, I think he wasn't long left then going into the Vincent's, but the way Vincent's went, and that's what I'm saying, I still say to me ma about how much I enjoyed them last few months. My job were great with me. They basically gave me the whole time off and just said, just be up there, wasn't it? Up there 12 hours a day with him. But I was mad. He just, throughout his whole stint in the hospital, he knew he wasn't getting out, but he didn't go like a rake, or he didn't go to where you see sometimes in films, or he was still 18 stone carrying his coffin, the bleeding weight. Like he didn't go to nothing. And he got to see, he used to say, look, I got to see everything I need to see, and people came up, and I never forget one night up in, because he was in Vincent's private, so they had like a meeting room, probably with this size, and the whole team came up, and I'll never forget that night as long as I live. You know, it was like just one last
reunion.
Like,
That's together, yeah.
He came in, he just goes, everyone sort of just roaring, crying. He says, fuck this shit. He said, talk about the old times. Let's not start talking about this. And just as everyone went, he had his own little moment where everyone just like a lecture and telling them, just giving people life advice and hugging them. Every person just left roaring, crying, but he was just so happy to. He's right. I got that out of the way. He was at peace.
Do you know what? As hard as that even sounds, Gary, it's very upsetting to hear. But isn't it beautiful that he was able to have that moment?
And that's what I'm saying.
With people, and even with yourself on holidays with the family and all, you get to really cherish special moments, to be able to have them.
He was right up till the day he passed. He was still up talking about it. Yeah, and how accurate the doctors were with him. They were able to. Your man was able to say to him, "This is how much my dad was thinking of other people." I'll never forget on the Monday the doctor came in. He said, I was sitting there with him. He said, we go on a golf trip every year, 40 odd lads. So it was getting around the time of where we gonna knock it out, because your man came in and says, look at John, we are going on the following Wednesday. He says, look at John, it's gonna be Thursday. That's how accurate they were. And he lied back, he went, lovely. He said the lads can go on the trip. He said, and that's his first thought. His first thought was that golf trip can go ahead. And I'm going, I'm not going on that. He says, well, you have to go on it.
Testament.
Yeah, so really the funeral was the Monday. We had to fly out on the Wednesday morning, and it was a great trip. I don't regret going on it. You're sort of still on a, I wouldn't say a high, but you're still full of pride, and it was just, the whole trip was nearly like a dedication to him.
You wanted to go, that's what you wanted.
With the whole place, everyone sort of knew that, you know. But now that night with the team, with all the players, not everyone of them was there, the ones who could make it. But as good as the night in the pub was, for the terms of the bit of crack, and that's where it was in the video, I can't explain the way he just talked to everyone, and he basically said, look lads, you all tell me what I mean to you, but you mean the world to me, and grateful to have you. Again, he put everything down, to all the success down to the players he had. You know?
So modest in even his final days, you know.
If you see in the start of that video, it's about things saying we don't like to talk about the junior. And Jonesy, who's an old lad on the committee, he said that's your problem. He said you should be talking about it, you should be embracing it. That's Jonesy. And he did. He goes, you need to be talking about. He used to get embarrassed talking about like basically how good is. He hated being told you're a great manager, and he used to go bleed far from me.
And it's all we knew, and all we wanted to do was talk about football, isn't it? So
and he just
keep talking about them.
He just knew how to get what he wanted out of players. It's just if he managed all the hundreds of players he managed, they'll all know what I'm talking about. They'll listen, they'll say they just wanted it. They just didn't want to let him down, and they run through a wall from him. A lovely text, because we'd be in the hospital, and he goes, that's a nice message off Connor. Showed me, I was bleeding, tears were rolling down my eyes reading. He says, look at John, he said, we'll never forget what you did. Look at father figure to everyone. He said from the outside looking in, it might look like we feared you. said, "We never feared you. We feared letting you down. Like, unbelievable, man." And it just stuck with me. And that's exactly what it was. He'd roar at you, he'd scream in your face, but it was never personal. And he never meant that. And he never came across like an intimidating way. No, people just didn't want to let him down. And that was the same with myself, probably more so than anyone. I just never, every single game, I knew I was able to give everything I had because it meant so much to him, you know.
Yeah.
But unbelievable days. But again, there's not a nice way to go, but it couldn't, in my eyes, I couldn't have went.
He was that piece of everything there, you know. He got to say his goodbyes, got to have the family time with you, the wedding holidays. Yeah. Looks like he was happy enough.
He loved his holidays. Even from the day he was diagnosed to in the 18 months till he passed, I think he done 6 or 7 holidays, you know. No, that's all he ever wanted, a few holidays, you know.
So after he passed, were you still playing, or had you stepped away at this stage?
Was I still playing? I was playing the second team.
So
when I didn't pack in at 33. I stopped at the first team at 33. So I went down to the Saturday team. Unbelievable year. One of my most, as much as I'd never get to the highs of what I was like playing with my dad, an unbelievable year. Kenneth Glennon was managing. Kenneth was younger than me at the time, but one of my most enjoyable years in football. Just again, it was all local lads. We were back in the pub every week after a game, and we had a great second half of the season under him. Just loved that year at the Saturday, and again proves that it wasn't always about playing at the top. It's not for me anyway.
Enjoying your football and being around good people, that's what it is, you know.
Yeah, Liffey's true, obviously, you know what I mean.
I can't believe you said the oldest team in
I think nearly sure in Ireland, 1885.
Who just played against it?
Back then, Englishman. No one's still going.
I had to set that one up there, sorry about that.
It's always good sound. Yeah, remember that. And so was that your last year, Gary, or did you continue on?
So that was the year he passed away. And did you take a break from football at all, or was that a good outlet to have after he passed? What happened was 2 months after the funeral, we were at one of the lads' wedding. All the players were there, you know. Probably the first proper get together since. Yeah. So it wasn't. We weren't well on late in the night. It was at the reception. All the lads around getting photos. My ma was there, and brilliant, great photos of the wedding. But a few people said, "Come on, we get back to home, 35s." And I said, "Nah, that's drink talk." I says, "Talk," because I was on the committee, and we had again the expense of. I was looking to talk about it. Jordan week. Everyone's like, "No, we're going to have a go at it." I said, "We'll go back like the old days." Everyone hears, but all over 35. Bar Dylan and Connor, Connor's still playing at the first team, and Dylan went as the assistant manager, so just to be part of it. So it sounded great in theory, you know. So we started back at later on the week. We're all talking about we're going back on like the old days, back to the pub. But the WhatsApp started, and we said, right, we get it going. And I think that was November. By January we were back training. Started off great, everyone down, you know. A couple of lads got injured, as you do. A few lads hadn't played in 6 or 7 years. The Carl O'Brien came back for us this year. 2017 he packed in. So he went 2018 he finished. So he went 7 years without playing. Now he came back like he never missed a day. Just one of them players, you know.
Hey, people like that.
Now he'd tell you himself he was probably a few pounds heavier, but in terms of football, unbelievable. He hadn't been away. 43, he could have played forever, you know. But so the first couple of weeks were going great. We obviously played using the friendly, that was shy, but we had a good start in the league, and then I think we had one bad loss away in Blanche, and I just fell asunder. Just couldn't get on your time. We didn't win for about 8 weeks. So I think it was a great finish to the season that we got the cup final, but it was a hard year. It wasn't. I even said we got the thing back on, so we'd all get a few nights out back to the pub. We won the quarter, semi-final, no one back. You know, that bit older people, more kids and all, but it wasn't like the old days.
It wasn't like they were talking about the reception though, you know, the web reception.
Yeah, exactly. So
all you can have is the memories if you can't get it at that time. And
now don't get me wrong, see that cup final weekend, we done the Saturday or the Sunday and the Monday, and it was a brilliant weekend. It was like it did make it all worth it for the year, but I just still remember the tough nights down training that weren't getting the numbers, so I just couldn't do it.
I heard you got the numbers. That's why Swanee played, was it? You got the
Swanee,
numbers.
yeah.
You see the picture, did you? He said to the camera, he knew it. What he was doing.
Swanee and Danny came in.
He scored a winning penalty, and the other lads up celebrating. He's over to the camera. He was pointing at the camera. He was.
I never met Swanee before.
He's a little new.
Danny came down. Danny was brilliant for us. Two good lads, but other than that, we probably didn't get anyone else in. You know, certainly John came down and he played for most of the season. But other than that, we just couldn't get the numbers, and I can't see it going again.
It's a tough slog, 45, isn't it? Like attrition are gone now
well,
as well.
the big thing what I found with it was
for this year. Look at yourself.
The big thing with the 35s was I found with the walkovers. Like last year, one of the teams won the league with 7 walkovers, 21 points given for the walkover.
We had to give it a few, I
think they tell you themselves no one wants to be winning
No.
the league like
No,
that. You know?
of course.
We signed 40 players, and one game we turned up with 9 players.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are pulled out of the pub.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm serious, like,
No.
and that's why we had to put down. And
You and who?
good one, Al.
You and you.
Well, we'll leave it at that.
But yeah, look, it's a tough slog, L35s, isn't it? It's a frustrating one, as you said. Like when you spoke to
I would rather be. I'd probably. I even said to a few of the lads who wanted to keep playing, you're probably better off going back Saturday. A few of them still could, not to being honest now. Lee Roach, Dano, they could have easily still kept playing, you know. But nah, the numbers weren't good enough.
Do you miss it? That's the one question we ask.
I miss playing all the time. Even I'm still down watching every game, and it's as much as I love it. Of course, you're still out there wishing you're playing. But I will admit, there's nights I'm down watching the train, and you're up. You have a cup of soup in your hand.
That's nice, isn't it?
I'm not out there training.
And then when it's over, before it's over, you just say, "I'm going home."
I still sort of tell myself, like, you have to remember these nights when you think if
we're going to go back.
Yeah. But isn't that something I miss it as well now, where there's just something about putting a pair of football boots on and just kicking a football. Now it's like when it's not kind of when it's took away from you, don't do anymore. Like it's just like that urge to get. Like
you can't because of your injury.
I always said I'd play till I play as long as I could, but just as you get older, the Astros are great because they keep so many games on, but it definitely has to have an impact on
they're not no man's pitch.
How long people can play.
So many people doing ACLs now on Astros.
It has to be something to do with it, but again, it's nice that they're trying on an Astros on a big mucky pitch in the middle of winter, so thankful for them, but I definitely think it has an impact now.
Of course, yeah. So what does the future hold now, Gary, going forward? Are you just committee member from now on?
I just love it.
That's it.
Absolutely love it at the moment. Back to we're getting great committee numbers down. That's a huge thing as well.
That's massive.
And that comes with credit to the lads, both the Saturday and the Sunday team. The club's full of great blokes at the moment, so it's happy to be around them. And when you're down there, it makes it a lot easier when you're chatting away, and there's everyone. Like the last 2-3 years, that was a bit of wouldn't say we lost our identity, but we used to go down and train, and I just knew now. You know, one night I says to the fella, sorry mate, you was in there about dressing room 6, and Mooney said, "Gary, he's with us." I've never seen him in my life. That was just a small example. I said, "How long's he with us?" He said, "Oh, bleed, 6 months." I said, you know. But that happens.
Money messing, pal.
Yeah, it's just very hard to when you have so many new players coming in. It's just it's good at the moment now, but.
What's your structure like now, schoolboy boys and
we don't have a schoolboy now. It's there's Cambridge down there. Pierce Rains are gone.
That's kind of like a Malcolm.
Yeah, Pierce Rains are gone now. They're gone.
Are you connected at all to Cambridge? Or
No. The CY, the sort of us and CY, who that you'd be looking for.
So whoever wants to go senior, it's who you go.
You'd basically only pick. Years ago, there was probably nine sides around Rings and Pierce Street. There's only really 3 clubs now. Yeah, there's only CY, Liffey's and Marks, and well, I don't think that's just a Rings and Pierce Street thing. I think that's across the board.
Yeah.
I think numbers are just massively dropping.
Amalgamation wise, though, he probably get more funding from the more facilities.
Do you think that would ever happen with Liffey's and CY?
Nah, it wouldn't. No one at either club wants that to happen either.
It's too much history, though. As you said that you lose your obviously that was the team in Northern and CY what they have there. So I think it's the name more than anything else.
Yeah, no, you would. No one wants to give up that.
They'd probably fold.
Yeah, I remember when my dad man in Southdock, they were only a team going a couple of years, and the history wasn't that big of a deal to them. And Railway Union took over. No, just Railway Union were a famous club back in the 70s, 80s with Greyside, and they just said, look, we want to keep the name going. They just want to come up, and they basically just went from South Dock to Railway, and they gave them unbelievable facilities. I don't know if you ever played with Railway Union there. It's actually a cricket ground. The pitch was immaculate. But my dad used to say he loved it up there. Teams thought they were coming down to Sandymount playing, you gotta get snobs, you know, but it was just basically using the Railway banner. But coming up playing against a gang of head case. But teams, I think you could actually see teams not thinking, look at this place.
Whoa.
The fella missing all over the place.
Yeah, brilliant. We go into a few questions, Gary. Yeah, I'll go with them. I don't know whether you're prepared.
I didn't. Is this the 11 and all? I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, look, you don't have to go. You don't have to answer.
No. He's here. He has to answer.
It's very, very hard. I thought on my way up. I said, part of it nearly picks itself, and the full-backs and all, it was very, very tough to pick.
We'll have it. If you don't want to go through it, we'll leave it, but you'd be the only person of all the podcasts that hasn't.
No pressure.
Yeah, so we go, any regrets in football?
Any regrets? No, not really. I really don't think I do.
Brilliant. That's why you should play football. Play football, no regrets.
Everything worked out so well for us. You couldn't really envision that any better. Sorry, my dad actually used to say as one, not a regret, having the proper crack at Senior Sunday. It had been hit a year earlier. That was one thing. It's not a regret because you can do nothing about it. You can't do anything about age. But the team we had that won the intermediate, you'd have loved to see how we'd have fared out. Because as I said,
and was it Crumlin back then? Was it
Crumlin? Yeah. Crumlin were the top side. Crumlin and Bluebell, but you'd have liked to say we'd have a much better account of ourselves because we went up. I think we finished fifth from bottom, but. We are now great shape.
Tough leagues to come into back then.
Yeah, it was. And as I said, we lost the players, and it just didn't. A lot of things went against us, but that was sort of what I like that to be a bit different. Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It's your choice on the regret, but would you try to change anything on that semi-final? Would you, if you had a second go?
You tell yourself not to bleeding.
I know it's
just the way you play. Sometimes it's just instinct to put the foot out to catch the ball, and you probably play. I won't do it again. And before you know it, the foot's up.
And in fairness, you have to. I actually always one of my favourite things is watching a mad keeper. I love seeing keepers and goal. They're probably underappreciated, but I'd nearly say fair play to him because he was game. He just kept flying out. Boom,
brave.
He got taken out with it.
He probably hit your foot.
Now, first he lifted up his tab. He was studs all over him. Like it was, but yeah, that was a killer. Yeah.
The best player.
We probably would have got a hiding. 3-0 cold.
You would have turned into that fancy passing player. Best player you played with?
Ado. Yeah, it'd have to be. I was only on to him today about something about going to get him to sponsor a Vio for the gym down for the Liffeys, and I was telling him, he says, well, I hope I'm the best player.
He put you to the sword.
To be fair to him now, I always do say I don't think we'd have been as successful as we were. Right? There's so many players I could say that about, brilliant players, but I think Ada was the main man for us.
He has a touch of it, doesn't he? Yeah. He came up to us with Crum when he
That's what I said. I didn't talk to Ada for 6 months when he left us.
Did you not? No.
True story,
He came up and he was cup tired for most of it, and we were in everything.
He has a league winners medal. I would say you can't be counting that. So he played up when you went up.
He played every
Christmas.
He played every. So Martin kind of would have rotated the team around because we had so many good players. So he could afford to say take Jake Donnelly out was an unbelievable player, and just put Ado in then. So you were strengthening, and he banged them in then as well, leaving with us for, and he could only play a handful of games.
No, he was brilliant and just so strong. So as I said, we no bother going long, and people you look at him, little spice boy, and you think you don't realise how tough he is, and he's as strong as an ox and brilliant centre forward. Lee was an awful lot better finisher, I will say that. And Lee sometimes used to take offence when you think Ada was a better player. Lee being second to Ada was not nothing to be ashamed of. If Ada could finish the way Lee could have, Jesus, he'd been playing League of Ireland. But brilliant. Lee was a brilliant finisher, but I just think Ada all around was the best player we played with.
So you go best manager.
We didn't play on them anymore. I think we used to keep a spreadsheet. I think we played 270 games or something under him. But a lot of them
might say something else.
No, I couldn't even think in my head to say a joke. I actually had to think, what other managers was I under? No, my dad was. No one came close to how he did. What was the first bit?
Your best manager, yeah.
No, I didn't play enough under any other manager to really be saying that. But there were certain players who played their whole careers under me. That a lot more than I did. There's some people probably played 500-600 games under them between across CY and Liffey's. Yeah, because they went 4 years with CY, then over to Liffey's. When I was with CY, I was the second thing.
You say your dad kept track of all that?
Oh, every Monday straight into work onto this Excel sheet. I still have a little look at home. He has how many goals, starts, and red cards, yellows. He kept everything.
Well, stat up. Yeah.
That's what one of his bosses, he was still slag. He says the only time I ever seen him better than that kept out, that was when he was coming in updating
his on a Monday morning.
He kept everything like that. Yeah. So I do still have them flicked. Have it at home somewhere. But basically every player who started and what his win percentage as manager.
Would he put some down as the favourite now?
Favourite player? I used to ask him. People used to always ask him. He used to say, this is the truth now. He'd say, I tell Ada he's the best player he ever had to suit him. But he said, he used to say, if I'm being honest, Carl O'Brien was the best player he managed. That was his answer now.
This is probably a silly question, but your best club?
Liffey's were a special club now, I have to say. Played with a few good clubs. Like Pierce Range were a brilliant club as a schoolboy, but never great. But the Liffey's, as we same with the Liffey Star, he was just unbelievable.
That's brilliant, the way that's gone.
Unbelievable story. Yeah. That's to be honest, that's why we wanted to get so badly on the podcast. Yeah. I know you were him and Han a few times where we spoke, got Deco to try and work his magic with you. But
to be honest, I didn't want to come across I didn't want to come on from a personal angle. I just wanted to really come on to go about my dad's whole managerial career, but enjoying it, I have to say.
So we go best friend in football.
Best friend, jeez, of some amount of great mates. I love them all. I love all that squad. But Dave Andrews was best man at my wedding. Centre half, unbelievable captain he was. But so many of the lads, we still, even when we see each other to this day, it's like nothing's. It's like every day is still.
He's all from the same area.
Yeah, still all drink together. Still all play games of golf together and see each other. Probably not as often as we'd like, as I said about the 35s didn't go to plan, but it'd still be great mates with all that team now.
The hardest player you played against?
I'd say I remember playing North End, and I'd say Paulie Murphy off North End was probably the best player I've ever played against. A lot of the Sheriff lads were brilliant, but in terms of the two individual games, I remember thinking this fella, he was a different grave, brilliant. He went on to play, I think he played a few games for Wexford, but
was it Palm Murphy, was that him, was it?
Spot, brilliant player. I think he was over in England for a while, I'm not sure, but sound bloke as well. But the night we beat him in the park in the Leinster gym, they all come back for a point, and he stayed on. Went back to a gaff, come back home 9 the next morning. Someone dropped to the train station.
Oh, good luck! That's a walk of shame. The train of shame.
Well, yeah, he was brilliant. A few of the Sheriff lads were just unbelievable as well. But I'd say that was my toughest. We used to play against Tullamore a lot. They came up right through the leagues with us, and in terms of toughness, it was brilliant to have that rivalry with them.
A few battles with them.
Yeah, I have to say they were all GA heads. They struggled toward that. They're nearly gone now because they struggled with the GA, but you knew going down there on a Thursday, and I'd say they'd tell you the same. You knew that we were going to kick lumps out of each other. It was always a tight game, and I think they came second to us 4 years out of the 5, and the 1 year they won the league. But it's always good to have a good rival like that we came up the leagues with.
Definitely. Favourite memory?
I'd have to say the FAI Junior. I do. The intermediate is a more prestigious trophy, definitely. It should be. It's the higher standard, but for me, I obviously played in the junior, and I just think I used to ask me dad which one did he enjoy more. He said the junior.
That was the first one. A lot of people on this said the first. Now we always say
the Sheriff team definitely played its part. I mean, if maybe if you played a different team, you'd appreciate it.
And the build up to it and everything else.
And it couldn't. We were 8-1 in that game.
Because even you said the bus pulling up together and nearly coming in and just who's going to give way first? Yeah, don't you give up, bus driver. You got it there. Yeah.
But that was that. Yeah.
Players that didn't fulfil their potential.
probably go back to even what I'm talking about. Dean, he didn't. He wouldn't have played as much as he should have. You know.
Did he employ himself?
Yeah,
as
he was,
much
he
as
was
he
there
could
every game. Even when I go back to that spreadsheet, he played in every game. But he tell you himself. Well, look, this is probably go away and you hear the phone ringing. What are you fucking on about? What'd you say that for? I think, well, he asked me to come on. He says, "You and Dean come on." I says, "Nah, you need to know."
He
what
wouldn't
Dean's
be
like."
into it,
No,
would
he
he?
wouldn't. No.
Did you ask him even now?
I said it was fucking even at the
You should have rang him and let him sit in the car.
24th I grew up and done the speech, and he come up and he just comes up to the end. He says, "Yeah, what he said." I'm not talking about.
So we're going to our best 11 now.
The goalkeeper ones, it's a tough one in the sense of two of my best mates played in goal. I played in goal with Philip Uzel and James Mooney, my cousin. But if I'm being honest, it was, like I say with Adolf, Phil O'Connor was an unbelievable keeper. And bear with Phil only went in goal as a.
That's right. He
was
played out. He was centre forward.
I played with him down Griffith Rovers in Premier League. I think was it 20 goals he scored that season.
Yeah, in fairness,
lethal in the year.
As you said, he could kick the ball 80 yards.
Yeah.
Phil, we used to play in the hall with us a few times, didn't he, Phil? And fucking hell, the goals to sometimes
squashing against the wall. He was a shoulder barge into the wall.
We actually played a season with Phil with Tolkien. He was in goal, but he was brilliant in goal. He was brilliant.
Very agile.
He kicked the fucking goal kicks from one end to the other.
A huge part of our game, and it's what we. And again, like keeper, you have to be brave. Every time
pulled off some great saves in that FAI Junior.
No, we did, yeah. And in the semi-final as well, down in North End, he was unbelievable. I have to give it to him. Then he for the 35s this year now, he's about 6 stone lighter. He wasn't the same keeper we knew, you know.
No, you said that, not me.
No,
now,
he ended up going. He ended up playing outfield.
He went out, did he?
Yeah, Sean Brazel.
He's playing in front.
Brazel was a great keeper for years. I played him all through my schoolboy. Great keeper, loved it, but he was brilliant for us for the 35s this year.
Philly scored against us out there when he plays out there, didn't he?
Yeah,
he scored a header.
Yeah. No, Phil, have to go Phil. The centre halves would pick themselves. It was David and Dillo. Two of them are unbelievable. David Andrews, Dylan Roach.
Dylan's still playing.
Dylan's still playing, unbelievable. He was brilliant there the last few weeks. He'll be playing now down in Cork. He's the captain at the moment, but two of them just worked so well together. David, I think David played less than half the games for under me dad, because he kept record of it all. But jeez, it was honestly like when David played, we won. It was just that was how much he ran through the team. As laid back a bloke as you'll meet in outside life, outside football, but just when I came onto the pitch, it just ran through the team the way he demanded it, you know. As I said, the fullbacks, jeez, I'll have to come back to them too. Very hard to pick because they were probably the only two positions throughout the whole team that weren't regulars.
Yeah.
Could have been a mixture of anyone. Centre mid, Kenna Roach, Kenna packed in at 28, but I played all through with Kenna. Unbelievable. Kenna Roach, Conor Riddick and Carl O'Brien. Again, probably a toss up between Kenna and Conor. Probably two unbelievably tough players. Just Connor's wouldn't say beauty. He was the real quiet fella, but just a redhead. I don't know a redhead who's not tough. I always say it. Just he got bleeding through. He's a brilliant player. Yeah, brilliant player. Yeah, really is. Played a few caps for the Irish.
Never heard him call the ball or talk.
Yeah, no, doesn't say a word.
Yeah, real quiet.
Yeah, really is. Just
and he might have been captain a few times.
Yeah, he actually is the club captain. He was just out injured. A long-term injury he has at the moment. I hope he's back. I think he's actually been training back last night, but. Them three, Ado up top, Lee Roach and Andrew O'Connor. Again, that was the sort of the front three we had throughout the whole all the years of success. So it'd be very unfair to put anyone in there. My little cousin Paul Mooney. Again, I go back to so many brothers playing in that team. Paul and James. There's 5 sets of brothers playing in the Aviva in the squad.
Jesus.
In terms of attitude, he was just unbelievable. Still plays for Liffey's now, but unbelievable player. Just he gets very, very unlucky with injuries as well. But probably I couldn't say that he's as good as the other three, but an honourable mention. The full backs now would have to go with Dan O'Connor, I always remember he was playing unbelievable when it came to the intermediate, and teams that were coming back from an injury, and it looked like Dano was going to start, and I always remember it was a huge tough decision for me dad, like Dean or Dano, and I think the jerseys were actually printed, and Dano was number 2.
He thought he was playing.
Yeah, and I remember we walked into the dressing room, and I had known the team, and I said, like, are you going to tell him? He says, no, there's no point like upsetting the dressing room, because he said there'd be more. So Dano could play anywhere, centre half, right full or left full, so we'll probably slot him in left full.
Did he end up coming on?
Dano's still playing now. He came on, played brilliant. In fairness, he came on. I think he got about 60 minutes, including extra time.
When something like that happens, doesn't the whole of being upset and pissed off, if you come on, play 60 minutes and you win, that not starting goes out the window. Well, conversation.
Carl used to say to me, "How there's no other manager in Ireland that could manage that team." Again, I go back to the 5 brothers. If Dano was left out, Anto had a scarp. Bill had a scarp. If Ada wasn't playing league, I never really took it personal when Dean wasn't playing. I knew the way it was, but people were always worried about other people. I mean, I remember the semi-final in North End. I think it was Calla was left out, and Anto and Phil would have been great mates with him, and they were fuming. I remember my dad to rally everyone back in. He said, get back into the dressing room. He said, what's that about? He said, it's the biggest game of his lives, sir. And he said, he's a man over someone that's starting. He'd be coming on. He said, I can only pick 11. But I actually always, even though I used to get on my walks, my dad, I always say that was probably the most impressive bit of man management I've ever seen of him in the semi-final of Junior. Before the game, how he avoided that, he let that creep in. But Dano, I'll go with Dano left full, and right full probably Willie Keegan. Willie tell you himself, probably not easy on the eye, but unbelievable in the air for a small fella, and just very reliable for us over the years. So I go with Willie. Don't fancy the stick off him. I didn't put it in either.
You're definitely going to avoid a pub for a while now.
Just could have went either way. I didn't want. I won't put Dean in it because we'll have a row about it later. I'll be ready for it. No, in terms of ability, Dean was absolutely brilliant, and he'd have walked into the team when he was fit. That's being honest now.
I mean, that's some career, and it's not over, obviously still with the committee side of things now, but the story there is it's
brilliant story. I have to say, I really enjoyed it.
No, I hope we've done it justice. I probably left a few things out thanking certain people. My dad went back to the unbelievable committee. Richie Uzel was, I remember the first night we started back, he was a bit embarrassed about coming down, and I remember he was late. I said, wait, he was, I just wanted to come down at the end. I says, no, you have to be here all the time, and I don't think he missed the training session for about 8 years.
Yeah.
It's important to be around, isn't it?
And he was one of my dad's best mates, and he went to every game in the car. He used to keep him calm on the way home, and he used to say, look, we'd get in after a loss, he'd be half an hour ever afraid to talk, you know. He'd go, someone say a word.
The players just practice on it.
But after every game he used to say, we won't have a post-mortem, we'll talk on Monday. He didn't really react too much after games, but on Monday we'd have a half an hour meeting. He used to we'd have meetings about meetings. We like fucking do that meeting, but he loved it. Again, he never took it personal. There's been some amount of rows and that, like, it's not all happy families. Throughout the years there's been some amount of arguments in that dressing room, and I think that's part of what made it. Like, there's been proper rows broke up in there, and you just part of what made us what we were. Yeah, it's part of what made us what we were. You know, just everyone wanted to do well together. As I said, we've lost a load of games, but very rarely can I remember. I'd probably be able to rattle off the games we lost with a whimper. We were shy.
You remember the wins though, more. He's had the medals to prove the wins.
Like, and it doesn't go in like success. Like, it doesn't go in straight lines. You have to, like, any team. I think people, even it's probably not spoke of again enough, where, you know, you look at the some of the top teams that have been really successful, like say Sheriff or even the Crumlins or whatever it may be, Bluebell, blah blah blah. They've probably had more like spirals and downfalls than any wins, and people to kind of just look at the wins and the highs of that, but there's some serious lows to it.
No, well, look, sometimes you can be the victim of your own success. Like, that's probably what happened with Sheriff. That their team, even to a more extent than us, they got all together and think they went AOL again for one stage, and I think they're playing at the moment, you know.
No, I think they're
Hopefully
gone,
they
aren't
come
they? I
back
think
to
they've
us.
schoolboy
They'll
section.
be
haven't
able
they?
to- yeah, sorry, they still have a schoolboy.
The back playing, yeah.
Are they-
Senior team now, have they? Yeah.
Well,
Are they Premier A?
don't know what's
Is it
called now.
Premier A
They
anymore? I don't know what it is.
United George Lees. I don't know. It's all over the place now.
well, hopefully they
Down
do,
there, I
because-
think Lee Movies managing.
Lee was managing, actually. You're right, actually. I spoke to Lee a while ago, and he was managing them for a bit, yeah.
Before, there's nothing real. Remember what league they're in and or who's managing them. It goes to show you how much they're involved. Where every second word out people's mouth when they're talking about football would be, see what Sheriff done, see Sheriff this, Sheriff that, and all that.
There was some success story. Like as I said, you could be arguing for an hour, and then other people have their opinions of. They didn't do it intermediate, but they were really, really good. So for the team I watched regularly enough to be able to say that, you know. Crumdom are excellent.
But they're now Liffey's.
Uh-huh.
They're now Liffey's.
Well, if they enjoy
They
it
have,
as much
there's
as
no
what we
story.
did, they've
There's
had a
no
good
story
league.
like Liffey's,
They've
to
had
be
a good
honest.
enjoyment, they'll have to say.
Very
They did
good.
enjoy it.
And no, honestly, Gary, thanks very much for coming on. We were
Cheers,
delighted to
thanks.
get that story out there
Yeah,
now,
no,
because
delighted.
it's one that's
Cheers, boys. Thanks for having me.
untalked about. Thank you,
Yeah,
Gary.
no
Fair
matter.
play, pal.